Starting this one off with a little disclaimer. Nas owes us nothing. Zero zilch, right? Nothing. If you want 90s Illmatic Nas, it was written, even Stillmatic or Godson, no, that's not happening. Alright? He's been in the game for 25 plus years, giving us an incredible catalog of music. He's been on tons of features. Now he wants to enjoy the little business investment side. Let him live. If he wants to open up a restaurant or have Hennessy sponsors or whatever, who are we to be so selfish to not let him live his life? And keep in mind, this is, like I said, not the same Nas. We're not going to get, pulling the tech out the duress or police got me under pressure type bars. And it's the same thing when you stole that candy bar from 7-Eleven 10 years ago. Are you still that same thief you were back then? No, you grew up, you matured, you took on different morals, different lessons, epiphanies, whatever the hell happened to you. So don't expect Nas to be a robot, to be trapped in this 90s time portal and emerge when he's in the booth, right? So I just had to address that to people who I've been seeing online complaining about the album or complaining about even Nas in the post-2010s, man. Just enjoy the music for what it is and don't hold him up to whatever standard that you want him to be. Alright, now Nasir time. So it is kind of important to kind of know this. Kanye West tweeted the 7 Deadly Sins on Twitter the same week of Nas's album release date. And the only reason why I bring that up is because apparently the songs are each devoted to one of those sins. I'm not going to go and break down, all the sins and say how they relate to the 7 Deadly Sins, but that's just something to keep in mind if you want to listen to it and take note of that. Track 1, Not For Radio. I'm discouraged, man. Why is Puff Daddy on this? I didn't want to hear him, talking throughout the whole track, ad-libbing, doing his thing. But it is similar to how he did on Hate Me Now on his I Am album. So, whatever, it makes sense, I suppose, in that regard. This instrumental that Kanye provided for Nas is just incredible. It's kind of like a Holier Than Thou. It's got, like, opera-esque singing going on in the back. Nas just comes in incredible. This is quite such a decent, great opener for this album. And like I've said in a previous review, Kanye's gearing everyone's albums up with great track 1s. So definitely like a little applause, boom, boom, for him there. The time where I'm just like, the first time I heard this song, I was a little discouraged when I heard the chorus by 070 Shake, who's done some great choruses and singing on the previous 7-track albums. I wasn't really feeling it at first, but after 3-4 listens, I got used to it. I actually started to like it. It sounds just a little too pop, a little too out of place for this kind of song. The instrumental does change up a little bit as well, but it does work. It's just not something that I thought was needed, I guess you can say so, but a lot of African pride on this track, and you'll see that he's spitting jewels as he does on many albums, but on this album as well, just with a slightly different take on it. The Richard Pryor sample to start off the Cop Shot the Kid song makes complete sense. Kanye West, good job again, adding little things to these songs to help the project have more flavor to it, you know what I'm saying? The Slick Rick sample that a lot of people seem to have like a love relationship with or hate relationship with, I actually think it works. At first I thought it could have been toned down a bit. It definitely works at the end of the day after probably my second listen. And major shout out to, once again, Slick Rick Children's Story is what they sample on here. Freaking incredible, freaking amazing. And once again, Kanye and Nas, one of their biggest influences is Slick Rick, so I just love people paying homage to their predecessors type thing. The chorus, I love how Kanye adds the organ to it and extends the chorus a little bit from the beginning. And Kanye has a very important bar where he's saying, who do you call when 911's committing the drive-bys? Because a lot of, black people are put in this predicament where, sure, they want people to be brought to justice, but how do you bring people to justice who are enforcing the laws? In example, the police, right? How do you call the police on the police? And a lot of the times, these police officers are given such light sentences, if they're even sentenced or lose their job. It's just kind of sad. It's a hard predicament to be in, and they're just kind of addressing that, as many rappers and even athletes do. To which Nas has an excellent line where he says, "This is why Kaepernick kneels." And it's just an important song that needs to be out there, right? Man, we get another dope sample from someone who I'm not sure who it is, but in the intro they're talking about, fake jewelry and stuff, and you can tell they're getting their little flex on it, again, they're stunned on whatever. And this song is really, to kind of talk about the sin talk, Nas talking a little bit about gluttony, and he's talking about cigars, champagne, expensive beds, things like that. The "I'm Gonna" sample in the background is actually by an Iranian singer, so I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's really hard. It works like that, you know what I'm saying? And Nas has kind of an interesting line where he says, "And the odds is what you love can kill you," right? And that's really just so funny because we're talking about gluttony. We're talking about cigars and champagne and these things you love can end up killing you. I just think that's kind of awesome how Nas is aware of this. He knows he's indulging in himself and his wealth, but he also knows that these things that he loves and adores at the moment can end up being his demise, right? And let's not forget, let's not just dissect the lyrics here, but let's also talk about this incredible flow that Nas is having throughout this project, but especially on this song, which I just fell in love with right when I heard it. I'll pull it up. Chin grabber, neck choker, inner mouth spitter, blouse ripper, ass gripper that dig you out. N-word, right? So, Nas shows he's still got the flow, which he demonstrates throughout this album quite a few times. Bonjour, Tony Williams, Nas. This is a song that I think is a sleeper on the album, in the sense that I think that no one's going to mention it and no one really talks about it, but I think it's such a freaking fire, dude. I was wondering why Nas would have a song, dedicated to, France and being named after a French term, right? It makes complete sense. Dude's in Paris right now in Fashion Week. He wants some theme music while he's out in France. Smart dude, and the song it kind of puts you in that atmosphere. Tony Williams' voice is just exceptional. Saying a little French terms, Nas is speaking French. I don't really know. I had to pull up the dictionary for these kind of things. It puts you right in the mood, man. Nas has 3 verses on this one. Granted, they're short, but he switches it up. He's not, he's had 2 verse songs up to this point. He keeps it 3. Tony Williams has a little added spurt to it. Kanye West really just digging up a good sample that sounds very French-esque. Puts you right in that mood, as I've mentioned. Digging this one. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there, and it's one of the, like I said, songs that I feel like won't get too much credit, but is super on par with the rest of the album. We get everything. This is a song I was actually most happy for, not because of the Dream and the Kanye West feature, but because it was 7 minutes long. Usually 7-minute songs, in my opinion, those long songs are either the freaking best or just complete duds in an artist's catalog. And this one, it's a little weaker in my opinion. So far, it's my least favorite song on the album. It really kind of gives you the 808 and Heartbreak type vibe from Kanye, if you had to kind of give it a sound. He's also using that vocoder sound effect as he's used in previous songs, for example, Runaway at the end of that one. It's just the intro is too long, man. It's 2 minutes of singing. I guess it does put you in the mood of the song, but it's not a vibe that I'm super fond of, I suppose. Nas is just as we all know, just an incredible lyricist, and he shows that he's kept it for 25 plus years. But as far as keeping me entertained, this is more of a snoozer. And it's probably my least favorite cut on the album, and I was hoping for so much more. Not to discredit the Dream on this, I thought, he did good. It's just not my cup of tea, I suppose. We get Adam and Eve, and the Dream is on this one again. I didn't even know the Dream was on this, because I'm not super familiar with the Dream's voice, but nonetheless, he sounds like he just belonged on the instrumental. I thought it was just a sample that Kanye took. Nah, man, this was incredible. I was shocked when I found out the Dream was featured on here. Nas, he's delivering per usual, per this album. A little braggadociousness on the second verse of the song, but it completely works. I like how towards the end of the song, the piano loop slows down a bit, little vocal effects added. Just these little things that give you an extra point in my book. We get simple things. Oh man, okay, so I love this little fucking jab Nas giving it to the haters on the intro of this song. I'm going to pull it up real quick. fucking Nas. Alright, so Nas has a line where he's like, never sold a record for the beat. It's my verses they purchase. Without production, I'm worthless, but I'm more than the surface. And Nas is just addressing the people who always talk about him having whack beat selection or whatever. Because if you think about it, Nas is in most people's top fives, yet these people are still complaining about him and his music. Like, come on, man. The chorus on this song is excellent. Simple, no pun intended, but it works. Strong way to close the album, even though it's 2 minutes and some odd change. It's an excellent effort by Nas and great address to the people who always have some shit to complain about, whether they want 90s Nas or Nas over the most A-plus beats of all time. And also, before the album even dropped, Nas has said that this album is about the kids, as he stated on Instagram, maybe Twitter too. And he's done a pretty good job of that. You know, like I said, he has a song called Cop Shot the Kids, addressing the police brutality and kind of blind eye that the public has towards these murders. He's talking about setting up his kid's future, talking about investments, you know. And he also closes the album off with one line where he says, I just want my kids to have the same peace that I'm blessed with. And I believe that's the last line of the album. So he pretty much stays on concept, and he also has a concept apparently of the 7 sins. So it's clear that there was a lot of thought put into this album. Summary time. So Nas is clearly a different MC than the 90s and the 2000s. Even in Life is Good, he had a line where he said, I've been rich longer than I've been broke, I confess. So he's been saying for the past 6 years that he's clearly living a more wealthy life. And it's going to be more mature investment, rich topics, etc. And I think he displayed a lot of that on this album. I think it worked very well. Kanye's production was excellent. I like some of the intros that he had, samples. If I had to rank this one, even at its 7-track disadvantage, I'd probably give it like an 8.25 champagne bottles out of 10. I'm really digging this, and I hope that Kanye unveils more 7-track projects, because he's pumping them out super quick. But if not, then it was definitely a good era. And yeah, what did y'all think of this album? Where does it rank in Nas's catalog? How did you feel about it? And what's your favorite track? Let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next review. Peace.